Hello, everybody. Welcome to Sound Off Sports. Mike Davis here. We got a big-time show. We got Elija Lofton, former Gorman guy with the U, joining us in the studio. But first, we're talking a little Pete Carroll, Dan Mullen. Who are you more excited for? And, of course, the comments from Kelsey, Plum about Caitlin Clark and all that drama. Big-time show starts right now.
Make some noise. This is Sound Off Sports, sponsored by Sam and Ash.
Been a Rebels fan my whole life. Been a Raiders fan my whole life. Pete Carroll, Mullen, it's like a two-headed coin. Either side, you're going to come up a winner.
Hello, everybody. Mike Davis here for Sound Off Sports, joined by James Edward Berkman IV. James, big-time show. A lot to talk about. Excited about having Elija Lofton. This kid was the number one recruit in the state of Nevada.
He's big time
for his class.
Showing out at the U, man, ACC.
It's exciting stuff. He's a tight end. He's going to be talking about this great back-to-school event he's doing for the community this Friday, so we're going to be chatting with him. But we're going to stick with football and that theme for this first block. We asked everybody at home, who are they more excited for? New coaches for the Rebels and the Raiders, Dan Mullen and Pete Carroll, respectively. We got a lot of great responses, as we just heard there. A lot of people think you can't miss either way.
I know, we didn't really get everybody was like, we're excited for both. So we said, okay, all right.
I mean, here's my feelings. These are two guys with big-time personalities.
Yeah.
Mullen used to be, an ESPN commentator. Of course, he coached guys like Prescott and Alex Smith in his career, and other guys like Kyle Trask and Tebow. So he's been involved with a lot of good QBs, and that's something we need for Rebel football to start cultivating that quarterback position, right?
Offensive mastermind. I think, from my perspective, I think Las Vegas, you are in good hands. Las Vegas football is in good hands right now between Pete Carroll and Dan Mullen. Pete Carroll is a guy who is going to get this thing cleaned up within the Raiders organization and get them back on the right track so that hopefully when he's ready to give up the reins, this next head coach can come in and take it over the moon.
And I don't want to hear anything, about Pete Carroll and age. I know he's turning 74, in September, but this guy's wired different. He's not your typical...
He's not your typical 73, 74-year-old. Absolutely not. But, he's not going to be here forever, right, as the Raiders head coach. So what I'm saying is, from my perspective, I'm more excited for Dan Mullen at UNLV than I am for Pete Carroll with the Raiders. Point being is I think Dan Mullen and UNLV's ceiling is higher than what Pete Carroll's is with the Raiders. I think if Pete Carroll's tenure with the Raiders, they make the playoffs once, maybe twice, I think that's amazing. But Dan Mullen, because he could be here for a long time if he realizes the potential that UNLV has in the NIL era, the resources that Las Vegas presents as a city, UNLV might not be in the Mountain West much longer. They might be a team that we see heading to the Power Four if Dan Mullen's time here goes well as we think it should, and they potentially claim a playoff spot.
Well, I think what Barry Odom did for Rebel football was already instrumental and monumental for this thing. I think that's what Pete Carroll is going to do for Raider football.
Right, we talked about this on this show.
Dan Mullen's running away with all the great stuff that Odom has already fostered, right? Whereas I think Pete Carroll, we got to compete in the AFC West. You got to go against Harbaugh. You got to go against Reed. You got to go against Sean Payton. So,
and it's a little bit of a mop-up job, but in a very, very tough division.
Very competitive.
So UNLV is ahead of the schedule that the Raiders...
I think so.
Yeah.
And I think, we already saw Mountain West media polls coming out, putting UNLV second. I think very quickly UNLV is going to become, the face of the Mountain West when it comes to football with Dan Mullen.
No doubt.
And he's bringing SEC goodness with him. I mean, this is a guy who won at Mississippi State. He's, been at Florida. These are top-tier programs that are competing in the SEC. And so he's bringing in that culture, that acumen, and he's implementing it to the Mountain West. I mean, San Jose State, it's not like they're a bad program, but this is different than the SEC.
The level of the transfers that you're seeing come to UNLV when you have a guy like Barry Odom who came from Arkansas, when you have a guy like Dan Mullen who's been all over the SEC, you see that reflected in the transfer portal when you have guys from Alabama, other places coming into and to want to play at UNLV. It's insane, and that's my point. Is where I think Dan Mullen realizes the sleeping giant that UNLV is as a program in this city, in the conference that they play in, where they should no doubt dominate the Mountain West and potentially be competing for a college football playoff spot year in and year out, and hopefully as soon as this year.
Yeah, and these are, it's just a new era of college football. Look, Bill Belichick's now coaching college football. So, these guys make a lot of money. They make a big difference when it comes to recruiting, being a face of the program. We were just at Summer League going to Thomas and Mack. Who are they promoting for all their signage and stuff at UNLV? It's Josh Pastner and Dan Mullen. They're the faces of UNLV athletics right now. So this is a critical time. It's a big time as we're shifting in the landscape of Las Vegas sports. So I'm excited to see what Pete Carroll and Dan Mullen are going to do to reshape and really reinvigorate both of these football programs. Guys, coming up after a short break, we're sticking with that theme of football. We got the tight end from Bishop Gorman, won a state championship there 2 years ago, now entering his second season with the Miami Hurricanes. It's tight end Elija Lofton coming up after the break.
Pete Carroll or Dan Mullen, who are you more excited for? Diana and Mike Ogney via email say, we're very excited about both, honestly, but Coach Mullen has us very excited for the Rebels. So he gets this vote. We will be at every home game for both the Rebels and the Raiders, plus a few away games. Go Rebels and just win, baby.
What's up, everybody? Welcome here inside the den for Sound Off Sports. Mike Davis. I'm joined by a guy who's helping up my alma mater out big time, okay? I went to Northwestern for grad school, so I do like myself the Wildcats, but undergrad, I went to the University of Miami. I'm a Miami Hurricane at heart. And Elija Lofton, former Bishop Gorman guy, won a state championship there, went 12-0, right? Number one recruit out of the state of Nevada, and now you're entering your second season with the Miami Hurricanes, but you haven't lost your love for Las Vegas, born and raised, right?
Yes, sir.
This is your hometown. You got a great event we're going to be talking about called the Back to School event. You're looking to do this for the second time around, but you're trying to make this a yearly thing. But let's talk a little bit more about you. Tight end. You were catching passes from Cam Ward, the number one overall pick of the draft. Tell us what you learned as a freshman, getting a ton of reps, getting a lot of game time. I think you caught a touchdown, you rushed for a touchdown, but you got a lot of good reps as a freshman and a four-star recruit. Tell us what your freshman season was like with the Miami Hurricanes.
Well, first it was a blessing because, without God, I wouldn't have been here today or made it this far. And it was fun, get to learn from Cam Ward and, a lot of other people that was at Miami that came before me. Yeah,
I heard Damian Martinez, Restrepo, all these guys who were taking a lot of insight from them. Elijah Arroyo, just drafted by the Seattle Seahawks, from a tight end standpoint, because the U's got some pedigree. We're talking Shockey. We're talking Jimmy Graham. So for you to come into the U and be a tight end, what makes the U almost tight end you? When it comes, we think about Iowa, okay, of course. There's always talk of Iowa producing studs at that position. But what is Miami doing in particular to get guys to the league at that position?
Playmakers. There's a whole bunch of – you just name a bunch of playmakers. So tight end you, Miami want us to go out there and make plays as a tight end group. So I guess that's what it comes with, going to Miami and going to tight end U.
I like calling it tight end U. Cam Ward specifically, let's talk a little bit about him. Mm-hmm. Is it just he pops off the field as a guy? You played with a lot of big-time people playing at Gorman, competed at a high level. Did you just know while you were in practice, spending a whole year with him, this is a guy who's really first pick overall potential? Does he play like that on a daily basis? What makes him special?
What makes him special, he's a great dude, a great character. He's open, he talks to people, he communicates, he explains stuff, he explains how he wants it, he explains what window you need to be in when the ball's coming, how deep your route is supposed to be. He's good on details on how he wants everything done.
And when you're transitioning from, I'm sure those details and all are critical when you're transitioning, even from a major program like Gorman. What's the big jump, even as you're entering year 2? What are the things that translate from Gorman to a major D1 program like Miami? And what are the things that really separate somebody who's good in high school but needs to be able to demonstrate this at the collegiate level, top 25 type program? What are the differences that really come?
Well, I feel like the more difference is like, first off, high school is not more intense. It's more like bicycle daisy, more cool.
Yeah.
Like, you get work in, but it's like more like not as much pressure. Like when the next level is really a business for real, and you got to go in like it's a job. Like everybody that's in there is want to go to the next level. They're taking it seriously, and there's no playing around. I mean, it's fun, but it's like it's more business. Like way.
And there's pressure even the high school level with that stuff. And we're going to circle back because I want to talk about Carson Beck and all that stuff. But how old are you?
I'm 20.
You're 20.
Yes.
And I mean, what you're doing right now as a 20-year-old, thinking of the next generation and future kids is a special thing. You got this back to school event happening. You're doing everything. There's going to be, haircuts. There's going to be supplies. There's going to be food. There's going to be music. Giving back to the community. Why is this so special to you? Tell us what this means really to you and your heart to give back.
Because me growing up, I didn't really have that much as a kid, and there's always people that gave back to me and pushed me to always just never ask me to give them back anything. Just told me to make sure when you give back, just give back. When you make it, just give back to people that like we get to you.
And it must be a special thing to do it in your hometown. This Friday, it's going to be going down 5:30 to 7:30. Let me make sure I got this address correct. 4160 South Durango Drive, Suite 120, Spring Valley area. Is this going to be a big homecoming for you to see, all these people who've been supporting you since day one, rooting for you day one, to now see their guy back in the community, having a great year, freshman year at Miami under his belt? What is this going to feel like, the reception? What are you anticipating?
I just want to have fun, just give back and enjoy the event. There was a lot of work put in from my mom.
All right, thanks so much to the great Elija Lofton, a 20-year-old doing such great things for the community. This Friday, 5:30 to 7:30, go check it out, back to school event. For the full conversation, you can go to our YouTube page, Silver State Sports.
Hi there. Kelsey Plum, she's, here from Las Vegas. We miss her dearly, and she's doing terrific over there at LA Sparks. Does she have any right to go off on anyone? Hey, she's sticking up for the WNBA. We need people like her. We need women to stick up for them like that. She didn't go after Caitlin Clark, though, so we need to back off of her. It's not about Caitlin Clark. It's not about anybody else. It's about the WNBA. Thanks. Bye.
All right, welcome back to Sound Off Sports. So, listen, over the weekend, WNBA All-Star Game goes down. There's a big new collective bargaining agreement negotiation going on between the WA players, the owners, all that kind of stuff happening. So players during All-Star weekend wear these pay us what you owe us shirts. All the players are wearing it together in unison. Yep. Now, after the fact, Kelsey Plum, former Las Vegas ace, who everybody in the community really grew to love here, had a big personality, Plum dog, all that kind of stuff.
Right. Big fan favorite here in Vegas.
At a presser, she, alongside Sabrina Ionescu, Sabrina doesn't really say anything, but Kelsey Plum,
poor Sabrina,
basically throws Team Clark, Caitlin Clark, under the bus. Now, Caitlin Clark didn't participate in WNBA All-Star activities, but throws her under the bus and her team, although she was the captain and all that stuff, for basically not
participating in the planning process of the demonstration.
Which is confusing to even me as we're talking about this right now. She was throwing, even though they wore the shirts.
And nobody knew a thing. Yeah.
They did not show up to a meeting to talk about wearing the shirts, but they wore the shirts.
They wore the shirts. Nobody knew anything. They looked like they were all in arms, in unison, wanting to send this message. So nobody would have known a thing if Kelsey Plum would have just shut her mouth.
So what does this all mean? You're asking at home. Mike, explain this to us. James, explain this to us. Well, what this really means is that It's what we've
Our
witnessed.
suspicions have been
Confirmed.
validated, confirmed, yes.
The suspicions of how WNBA players hold and harbor a resentment towards Caitlin Clark.
And I really didn't want to
is
believe
evident.
that was a thing.
Oh, no, it's a thing.
I really didn't want to believe that was a thing.
And it's not, I mean, listen, this is not a political show. It's not black or white.
No.
It's not Angel Reese versus Caitlin Clark. WNBA players do not like Caitlin Clark.
They just don't. I don't know. I mean, is it a jealousy? Like, that's your meal ticket right there. And you are constantly taking shots at her, bashing her.
It's kind of like, I just don't understand it. It's like if there was a new fast casual restaurant that was like the Chipotle for Indian food, okay? And it popularized Indian food in the American public because now there's a fast casual place that you can go get Indian food in the same light that Chipotle did for Mexican, but they're doing it for Indian food. Wouldn't other Indian food proprietors and people who are trying to push that, you know, that type of cuisine onto the public, wouldn't it be good exposure for Indian food? Not everybody knows what naan bread is and chicken tandoori chicken is. So to put out, you know, maybe it's not the greatest analogy, but that would help the American
It's good
consumer
for the brand. It's good for the
know
brand.
what,
Yeah.
okay, naan bread is an Indian, like, so I just don't understand. You have this.
You know, here's your taste of this cuisine. Let's go try other places that
It's
sell
not
that
like
same cuisine.
when I was growing up before Chipotle, it's not like every single person had a burrito 24/7. Now everywhere I look,
all I
there's a
eat's burritos because I love
Right.
Chipotle.
But Chipotle,
All we had was Chi-Chi's.
But even though Chipotle did a big job in pushing the Mexican food movement onto the American public, so even if you don't like Chipotle, you're more fluid with
Mexican cuisine.
Pico de Gallo.
Yeah.
So I just don't understand how Kelsey Plum. Why do people have such a resentment for Caitlin Clark? She's gonna literally push the CBA into a new direction because of what she's bringing from an interest level in ratings and all these different types of things. So I just don't get it. Maybe people are just jealous and they feel like she's getting recognition that's deserved way before she. I mean,
And there have been great players that have come before her, no doubt.
but it's like Diana
nobody has
Taurasi.
been-
Everybody hates on her. Why does everybody?
I don't understand. And our first call here off the top of the block, when saying she wasn't taking a shot at Caitlin Clark and it's all about that she's sticking up for the WNBA. If you wanted to actually stick up for the WNBA, then keep your mouth shut and act like we were all in unison here and we all wanted to do this. But instead you made some off-the-wall comment targeting the girl sitting directly next to you in Sabrina Ionescu, who was on Team Clark, taking a shot at Jackie Young and Asia Wilson, two of her former teammates on Team Clark, and also the face of the sport. You made waves where there weren't waves. You caused a conversation where there shouldn't have been conversation. Instead of people trying to support you and say, yes, we are with you, pay them what you owe them, we're talking about this instead.
Right. And it's just because it's constantly a Caitlin Clark conversation. Now, Sabrina's reaction, I don't even know if I would.
She was so caught off guard.
She was caught off guard by the fact of this. So, but I still think, and listen, Kelsey has a big personality. We know it. We remember the cigar moment with the championship. She's a big time personality. She's not scared to speak her mind. So it might be something that's a little bit more, she was a little more overzealous than a typical WNBA player to throw her under the bus. But still, there's something strange going on, and you got to treat Caitlin Clark like non-bread. You know, you got to push that cuisine. Guys, coming up after a short break, we're talking about the other thing that's percolating, the thing that everybody's mentioning. It's the astronomer, CEO, and HR rep at the Coldplay concert. Yes, James and I are going to break it down after these words.
I think it's crazy that Kelsey Plum had to make a comment regarding Caitlin Clark. First off, the WNBA has grown in immense popularity over the past few years because of Caitlin Clark. And let's not forget that she brought a huge interest into women's college basketball when she played for Iowa. So to simply discount her because her team was not at a meeting, even though she's bringing in the most eyes, the most ticket sales. To downgrade that is just ridiculous.
Well, it is the affair that has captivated a nation, captivated the globe. We're, of course, talking about the astronomer, CEO, and HR director at the Coldplay concert in Boston. Lead singer of Coldplay, Chris Martin, catches them on the Jumbotron, says, they're either having an affair or they're super shy. Because, of course, they're embracing, they're hugging one another. HR director shields her face. Andy Byron, the CEO, ducks below. So they react poorly, and this is an affair.
And all you had to do was not make a big deal out of it.
Just keep hugging.
Just keep hugging and stay right there, and none of us would be talking about that.
Now,
but you had to make a fool of yourself.
We're not teaching people
Wife
at
wouldn't
home
know.
how to successfully go through the endeavor of an affair.
I'm not condoning the actions, but I'm saying...
Is it crazy, our culture in 2025, that everybody knows about this? Like, this is the biggest story.
Oh, these people are celebrities. My mom probably. I should probably ask her. I bet she knows.
I feel bad for their families. I really do.
Of course.
It's a horrible thing. But
well, I saw the CEO's daughter. She's like trying to launch a TikTok career now, using this newfound fame. So maybe
she's going to use it as a springboard. Don't go to a Coldplay concert with your side piece, especially if you're working at the same place.
Or do. But when they put you on camera, just don't move.
It's crazy stuff. It's a crazy world. That's why we're lucky to focus on sports here on Sound Off Sports, except for Sink or Swim segment at the end of the show. Guys, enjoy your week. Have a great week. Listen to Coldplay. Just don't cheat. Thank you so much for James. I'm Mike Davis. We'll see you next time here on Sound Off Sports.